The diplomatic blindfold, the Viridian atmosphere, carried a metallic temps that Nathaniel Reed had not expected. Despite thorough briefings from Earth's diplomatic corps, his cane tapped rhythmically across the landing platform as the diplomat moved with practiced confidence. Despite having been blind since age 8, Ambassador read. A voice addressed him in accented standard. "I am First Counselor Dreth. The Imperial Court welcomes you." Nathaniel extended his hand with perfect precision. "The honor is mine, Counselor. I trust preparations for the alliance ceremony are proceeding." A slight hesitation registered in Dreth's voice. "Of course. Princess Tesha awaits your introduction in the Reflection Gardens." As they walked through the palace corridors, Nathaniel's enhanced hearing caught whispered conversations. He won't know the difference," the Emperor insisted. "Better this way." Nathaniel suppressed a smile. The Viridians clearly thought him oblivious, as well as blind. The air shifted as they entered what must be the garden's warmer, filled with unfamiliar botanical scents. He sensed a presence waiting nearby, breathing patterns indicating nervousness. "Ambassador Reed, may I present Princess Tesha of House Verid, your betrothed?" Nathaniel bowed deeply. "Princess, I've crossed 17 star systems to meet you." He extended his hand, and after a moment's hesitation, felt smaller fingers touch his. Immediately, he knew this was not the princess described in his briefings. The hand was smaller, the skin texture different from what he'd studied in diplomatic files. "Ambassador," a soft voice replied, higher pitched than expected. "Welcome to Viridia." Following formal protocol, Nathaniel raised his hand to her face, a gesture permitted in Viridian courtship rituals. His fingers traced features that confirmed his suspicions. The facial structure was different, the cheekbones higher than described. "May I know your name?" he asked gently, fingers still resting against her cool skin. A pause stretched between them. "I am Surya of House Verid." "Surya," he repeated. "Not Tesha." Tension crackled in the garden. He heard Dreth's sharp intake of breath. "My sister was unavailable," Surya finally said. "I stand in her place." Nathaniel smiled, his hands still cupping her face. "I see," he said, the irony not lost on anyone present. "Then I am pleased to meet you, Surya of House Verid." He sensed her surprise. Clearly, she had expected rejection. Instead, he lowered his hand to take hers again, raising it to his lips. "Perhaps you would show me these gardens," he suggested. "I'm told they're quite remarkable. You wish to proceed?" Dreth asked, confusion evident. "The alliance between our peoples remains important," Nathaniel replied smoothly. "The specifics have changed, but the purpose hasn't." He turned toward Surya. "Unless the princess objects." "I would be honored," Surya said quickly as they walked away from the stunned diplomatic party. Nathaniel offered his arm. Surya hesitantly accepted. "They think I don't know," he murmured, just loud enough for her ears. "Know what?" she asked, tension in her voice. "Everything," Nathaniel smiled. "For instance, I know you're considered imperfect by Viridian standards, which is why they thought they could deceive me." Her steps faltered. "You are ... direct." "I find it saves time," he replied. "What I don't know is why they would risk insulting Earth with such an obvious deception." Surya guided him around what sounded like a fountain. "My sister is marrying the crown prince of the Tehran Empire tomorrow. A more advantageous match." "And you are the convenient solution," Nathaniel concluded. "Yes," she admitted softly. "The imperfect sister, suitable for a blind human who wouldn't know the difference?" Nathaniel stopped, turning to face her. Their mistake was assuming that sight is the only way to perceive beauty. "Bonds beyond sight tell me about Viridian courtship traditions," Nathaniel said as they continued through the gardens, his fingers brushing against unfamiliar plants with textures unlike anything on Earth. "They're rather formal," Surya replied. "Traditionally, couples spend 3 months in supervised company before physical contact beyond ceremonial hand-holding. And yet I've touched your face within minutes of meeting you." "Human customs are considered shockingly forward," she admitted, her voice warming. "The diplomatic corps spent weeks debating how to accommodate your tactile nature." "My tactile nature?" Nathaniel repeated with amusement. "Is that the diplomatic term?" "The polite one," Surya replied. He detected a smile in her voice. Others suggested humans were simply primitive. They paused by a flowering bush. "May I?" he asked, gesturing toward the plant. "Of course." His fingers explored the alien flora petals that felt like cool metal yet yielded like silk. "When you lose one sense, others compensate," Nathaniel explained. "I hear subtle shifts in your voice, feel temperature changes in your skin." He moved closer. "For instance, I know you're experiencing what humans would call a blush, right? Now, Viridians don't blush," she protested. "Your skin temperature just rose 2 degrees. He countered with a smile. "Call it revealing color," she admitted. "It's considered inappropriate in formal settings." Nathaniel stepped back. "I apologize if I violated a cultural norm," she said quickly. "This is educational for our alliance." "Educational," he repeated, smiling wider as they continued walking. Nathaniel noted how Soria gradually moved closer, their arms occasionally touching. Each contact sent a current of awareness between them. "What should I know about Viridian society?" he asked. "Beyond the obvious attempt to substitute brides, we are a people of appearances and hierarchy," she explained. "Beauty is power. Position is everything." Her voice took on a bitter edge. "Those who lack either become invisible, like you." "I was born with a genetic variation," she explained. "My markings are azure instead of emerald. My eyes lack the proper luminescence. Small differences, but enough to make me unsuitable." Nathaniel reached for her hand. "On Earth, we say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Perhaps it's fortunate I behold with different senses. You're very kind for someone who's been deceived." "Not kind curious," he corrected. "You fascinate me, Soria. Your voice carries emotions, your words try to hide. Your movements are graceful, but guarded, they stopped in a secluded alcove, sheltered by hanging vines." "You should be angry," she whispered, more interested in why you agreed to this charade. "Had little choice," she admitted. "My sister's marriage secures vital resources our planet needs." "And you would be further ostracized if you refused," Nathaniel finished. Suddenly, Nathaniel felt a strange sensation, a gentle pressure against his mind, like someone knocking on a door. "What was that?" he asked sharply. Soria pulled away. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean you're telepathic," he stated, not a question. "It's why I'm considered dangerous as well as flawed," she whispered. "When I touch someone, I can sometimes sense their thoughts." Instead of withdrawing, Nathaniel reached for her hands. "Is that why they fear our connection? You might learn Earth's secrets through me?" "Partly," she said. "But mostly because they've spent years convincing me I'm worthless, that my appearance makes me undesirable, and my ability makes me dangerous." Her voice strengthened. "You shattered that illusion in minutes." Nathaniel moved closer. "What happens if we proceed with this marriage?" "I don't know," she admitted, "but I felt something when we touched, Nathaniel." "Something I want to explore," he smiled, raising her hand to his lips. "As did I." Their conversation was interrupted by a stern voice. "Ambassador Reed and Lady Soria are requested in the Imperial Chamber immediately." Nathaniel felt Soria tense. "The Imperial Chamber," she whispered. "That means my father, Emperor Derone." Imperial confrontation. The Imperial Chamber's air felt charged with tension as Nathaniel and Soria crossed the threshold. The herald announced them with a series of tonal clicks that Nathaniel recognized as formal Viridian. Ambassador read. Emperor Darren's deep voice addressed him directly. "I trust your accommodations are satisfactory?" "Most impressive, Your Imperial Majesty," Nathaniel replied with a formal bow. "Yet you repay that hospitality by dishonoring our customs," a female voice interjected, sharp with authority. Imperial Consort Mira Soria whispered, barely audible. "My daughter was observed engaging in physical contact of an intimate nature," the consort continued. "Contact that violates our most sacred traditions." Nathaniel stood straight, projecting confidence. "On Earth, physical touch communicates sincerity and trust. I apologize for any cultural misunderstanding." A third voice joined, dripping with disdain. "The human pawed at our sister like a beast." Prince Vaden Soria identified softly. Meant no disrespect, Nathaniel said carefully. But I must point out that I was promised Princess Tesha in the diplomatic arrangements. Finding Lady Soria in her place suggests I'm not the only one taking liberties with our agreement. Heavy silence followed his words. The human is more perceptive than anticipated. The Emperor finally said, He's blind. Prince Vaden scoffed. He cannot perceive anything. And yet I perceived the substitution immediately, Nathaniel countered. Just as I perceive that this confrontation isn't truly about a kiss in the garden. It's about what your family fears I might discover about Soria. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. You overstep. Ambassador, the Emperor warned. No more than you did when you offered one daughter while delivering another, Nathaniel replied. Earth values honesty. What else are you concealing? Father Soraya's voice rang out with unexpected strength. The human speaks truth. This deception was wrong. You forget your place, the consort hissed. My place was to be hidden, then offered to a blind alien who supposedly wouldn't know the difference, Soria replied, her voice growing bolder. But he does know. He sees more than any of you. The human has awakened her condition, Prince Vaden declared. Condition. Nathaniel turned toward Soria. What condition? The Emperor spoke before she could answer. Enough. The alliance with Earth remains valuable despite this complication. Ambassador Reed, you will be given quarters separate from Lady Soria. The ceremony will proceed tomorrow as planned. And if I refuse, then Earth loses access to our hyperspace corridors, the Emperor stated flatly. Your ships would take decades to reach your colonies rather than months. Nathaniel nodded slowly. I understand the stakes, Your Majesty, but I require a private conversation with Lady Soria before I make my decision. They were escorted to a small chamber adjacent to the Imperial Hall. Guards positioned far enough away for privacy if they spoke quietly. What condition was your brother referring to? Nathaniel asked immediately. I possess an ability rare among Viridians, Soria whispered. When I connect with someone, I can sense their thoughts, their intentions. It requires physical contact. That's why intimate touching is taboo. Yes, it could reveal too much. She paused. When we kissed, I read your mind. And your attraction to me is overwhelming, genuine, she admitted. Unlike anything I've experienced, Nathaniel moved closer. Is that why they fear our connection? Because you might learn state secrets. Partly, but there's more, she said. There's an ancient prophecy about a sightless one who sees all truths, who will join with the marked outcast to bring about a new era. Specific, Nathaniel remarked. Specific for my family's comfort, Soria agreed. Especially since it continues that this union will topple the Emerald Thrones and raise the Azure Banners. Ishir, Nathaniel repeated. Like your markings. Now you understand why they fear us. Betrayal unveiled, when Nathaniel returned to the Imperial Chamber, his decision was made. He stood tall, shoulders squared, the picture of human diplomatic confidence. Your Majesty, I will proceed with the marriage to Lady Soria, he announced, sensing surprise rippling through the room. However, I have conditions. Conditions? Prince Vaden scoffed. You are in no position, I speak for Earth, Nathaniel interrupted firmly. And Earth does not enter unbalanced alliances. The Emperor's voice remained measured. What conditions, Ambassador? First, Lady Soria will be accorded full status as my diplomatic partner with all privileges and protections of an Earth representative. Impossible, the consort objected. She is Viridian. She will be my wife, Nathaniel countered. On Earth, marriage partners share status. This is non-negotiable. Second, I require complete information about Lady Soria's abilities. No more secrets between allies. Those abilities are a state matter, the Emperor said. They directly affect my marriage and Earth's relationship with Viridia. Full disclosure or no alliance? And your third condition, the Emperor asked. Direct communication channel to Earth's command, unmonitored by Viridian security. The Emperor seemed to shift in his throne. You ask much? I offer much in return. Earth's military protection, technological advancements, and, he paused. My silence about the substitution attempt. The implicit threat hung in the air. "Your terms are accepted," the Emperor finally said. Later that evening, in Nathaniel's diplomatic quarters, Soria explained her abilities in greater detail. "My telepathic sensitivity is rare, but not unique," she said. "What makes me dangerous is its strength and control." "Dangerous how?" "Most Viridians with this gift can only receive surface thoughts. I can access deeper memories, intentions, even subconscious desires." Her voice dropped. "And I can project thoughts back." "That would make you quite the intelligence asset, or weapon," she added grimly. When they touched, Nathaniel felt a strange warmth spread up his arm into his mind. Not invasive, but intimate. "With you, it's different," she breathed. "More intense, more reciprocal," Nathaniel suggested, surprised to find he could sense impressions of her emotions. "That's impossible," she gasped. "Humans aren't telepathic." "Maybe it's not telepathy," he mused. "Maybe it's something else entirely when our species connect." Their lips met, and Nathaniel felt the mental connection bloom stronger, carrying impressions of Soria's feelings, her desires, her growing trust. He let his own barriers drop, wanting her to sense his genuine attraction and respect. Dawn broke over the capital city. In his quarters, Nathaniel woke to the gentle hum of his secure communicator. "Parks receiving," he answered softly, not disturbing Soria beside him. "Intelligence has uncovered disturbing information," came the voice of Admiral Jensen. "We believe the Viridians have been negotiating secretly with the Cracks Collective. They plan to provide access to their hyperspace corridors in exchange for weapons technology." Nathaniel stiffened. "The Cracks had attacked human colonies in the past decade." "Timeline?" he asked quietly. Communications reference a changing of circumstances following a royal ceremony. As the connection terminated, Nathaniel sensed Soria stirring. "Bad news?" she murmured. Nathaniel decided on honesty. "Earth believes your government plans to betray our alliance in favor of the Cracks." Instead of shock, Soria's body temperature dropped. "The Cracks. That's worse than I feared." True Vision, the Grand Temple of Viridia, was an architectural marvel that even Nathaniel could appreciate through his enhanced senses, perfect acoustics carrying whispers from hundreds of feet away. Subtle temperature variations beneath vast domes, the scent of ancient stone and ceremonial oils. He and Soria had been separated upon arrival as tradition demanded. Now he stood at the central altar awaiting her, surrounded by Viridian nobility and human diplomats. His enhanced hearing caught fragments of whispered conversations. Most were mundane, but one exchange near the back of the temple seized his attention. After the binding, the Cracks emissary expects immediate confirmation. The human suspects nothing. Nathaniel kept his expression neutral as ceremonial horns announced Soria's arrival. From the gasps, he gathered her appearance was causing quite a stir. "She wears the azure crown," someone whispered nearby. "The Emperor will be furious." "The prophecy," another voice hissed. "It begins." When Soria reached him, her hand found his with confident precision. The moment they touched, their mental connection bloomed, stronger than before. "They plan to kill you after the ceremony." Her thoughts flowed into his mind. "The Cracks emissary is here, disguised as a minor noble." Nathaniel squeezed her hand gently to acknowledge. "There's more," she continued mentally. "The prophecy speaks of a new kind of Viridian arising from our union, one with abilities that would end the current power structure." As the officiant wrapped a ceremonial cord around their joined hands, symbolizing their binding, something extraordinary happened. The mental connection between them intensified, expanding beyond mere communication. Suddenly, impossibly, shapes and colors began forming in Nathaniel's mind. Not memories or imagination, but actual visual input. He was seeing truly, seeing for the first time since childhood. Through Soria's eyes, he witnessed the grand temple's soaring architecture, the sea of colorful Viridian nobility, and most strikingly, himself tall and commanding in formal Earth diplomatic attire. "I can see through your eyes," the thought thundered through his mind. Focused Soria's thoughts guided him. There, 3 rows back, the noble with the crimson sash, that's the Cracks emissary. Nathaniel directed their shared vision toward the figure. Through Soria's enhanced perception, he could see a faint distortion around the being's some kind of holographic disguise. The imperial officiant continued the ceremony. As the sacred cord binds, so shall your fates be bound, he intoned, tightening the silvery material. The moment the cord was knotted, something extraordinary happened. Soria's azure markings began to glow with increasing brightness. Gasps rippled through the assembly. The prophecy manifests, someone shouted. Nathaniel felt a strange tingling behind his eyes, spreading throughout his body. Through their connection, he sensed the same happening to Soria, physical transformation triggered by their bonding. The crack's emissary leaped to his feet, disguise falling away to reveal scaled skin and reptilian features. Kill them now, he shouted, before the transformation completes. Guards moved toward the altar, weapons drawn, but stopped abruptly as Nathaniel and Soria turned to face them, their eyes glowing with matching azure light. We see you, they spoke in unison, their minds completely merged now. We see all the deceptions, the betrayals, the hidden truths. The Emperor rose, face contorted with rage and fear. Stop them. But when the guards attempted to approach, they found themselves unable to move, held in place by an invisible force emanating from the joined couple. Your reign of deception ends today, Nathaniel and Soria spoke together. A new era begins for Viridia and Earth alike. Their shared consciousness reached out, touching the minds of everyone present, revealing the Emperor's planned betrayal and the Krax's true intentions to eventually subjugate both species. What's happening to us? Nathaniel asked within their joined mind. The prophecy, Soria answered. We are becoming something new, neither human nor Viridian, but something greater. The first of many. Their transformation complete, they turned to face the assembly. Hands still bound by the ceremonial cord, eyes glowing with power and purpose. Today marks not just an alliance between our worlds, they announced, but the birth of true understanding. We offer sight beyond sight, the ability to see truth, to know one another as we know ourselves. The Krax emissary tried to flee, but found himself rooted in place. For too long, both our peoples have relied on appearances, on surface judgments, they continued. But true vision comes from deeper connection. With these words, a wave of energy pulsed outward from them, touching every mind in the temple. For a brief moment, each person present experienced the thoughts and feelings of those around them, a flash of perfect understanding and empathy. When it ended, the temple remained in stunned silence, forever changed by what they had experienced. True sight had been revealed, and nothing would ever be the same.